Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm FM99 Rock Girl Kristin, and I'm here with Mark of Nothing More.
Howdy, howdy.
You guys are one of my favorite bands, by the way, so super excited to be talking to you guys.
Too kind. Appreciate it.
Of course. So actually, one of the first times I saw you all was at Blue Ridge Rock Festival in 2022. My fiance is a huge fan, so I've heard you guys in passing, but never really listened. So he dragged me to the stage, and now I've been very obsessed with you guys. I know when you played Jenny, that song started the obsession. I think it was kind of like, I'm sold after hearing that song.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, thanks for sharing that. Blue Ridge was definitely fun. I know tonight we've actually never played Norfolk before, so this is going to be special.
I guess you haven't.
Yeah, it's our first time.
We've always had to go up to Richmond to see you, so now much easier.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I think that's because of me, right? I'm just kidding.
What's that?
It's because of me that you guys are here in Norfolk.
Absolutely, yes, of course.
I'm just kidding. All right. So knowing my history with Blue Ridge Rock Festival, I just wanted to know if you had a favorite festival that you guys have performed at before or anything that sticks out.
You know, I feel like it's hard to beat the German festivals. It's like they have the German engineering. It's like they have their Jaeger machines back there. It's all trouble.
I can see that.
Schnitzel everywhere. No, Blue Ridge was a lot of fun. It was a good time. The Wage War guys just did Rockville. We're not doing this year. We'll do next year. Sonic Temple was amazing last year. Seeing Foo Fighters and their whole set and seeing Josh Freese play drums was pretty sick. It's hard to beat the Danny Wimmer festivals.
Yeah, those are really good. Yeah. We went to Incarceration a couple years ago. That was
badass. Yeah, I remember seeing. We played with Gojira at one of them before, and that was awesome.
A good one. Yeah. Well, speaking of festivals, I do have one more question surrounding that. So I heard that in Aftershock, I think this was around 2013, maybe a little bit before that you guys actually had to sub in for a bigger band at a larger stage, and that was kind of your biggest performance at that time of being a band. Can you talk about that at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a real special show. I know we had played actually Rockville maybe a few months prior to Aftershock, and from there Danny actually had caught the set. He was like, oh man, I love it so much, you guys have to come play Aftershock. So we did that. We routed from San Antonio, still doing the grassroots thing in our van. Made it all the way there, got there, the van broke down as soon as we got there, but we made it.
Oh my gosh.
Which was sick.
Timing, that's perfect.
Right? Yeah. We played the set, immediately got off stage, felt really good about it. Danny and the guys had come over and they're like, that was awesome, cool. So, going throughout our day, and then over at the press tent, we're doing some interviews, and Danny comes in and interrupts and is like, hey, you guys are playing main stage tomorrow. And it's like, what? We're playing again? Like the same day? Normally, right, bands only play one day in like a 3 or 4 day festival or whatever. So that was awesome news. It really felt like that day was the culmination of kind of all these things coming together. Like before we had done label showcases and we have gotten a lot of no's, like, oh, you guys are cool, but rock's not selling right now. It's just not happening, so we don't know what to do with you. So that day it was like, man, every label and their mom was there. They were all side stage watching, and really felt like after that it was like, okay, this is it. We got our pick of the litter in regards to labels. We went with the one we felt good about, had the best vibe with, and yeah, it was a very special show, special festival for sure for us.
Awesome. So did you have a lot of nerves or feel under pressure when you perform at that time, or it's kind of when you step on stage, you're just ready to go and all the nerves are out the window?
It's pretty much the latter. Yeah. It's like, before, it's like you can get in your head and think about it. I think the best advice I've ever been given is to just do exactly what you always do. Don't think, if you have, a few beers before you play, have a few beers before you play. It's
That's the key.
Yeah, don't, get the same amount of sleep. It's like, a lot of people will say, go to bed early, make sure you don't eat too much, don't eat spicy foods, or do this or do that, and you can really get in your head, and then you try to go to bed, and you just can't go to bed. Your body's not used to it, It's all about that routine, so keep the routine the same. I think that's huge.
Awesome. All right, we're moving on to the next question. I have heard in past interviews that you have mentioned that you guys like to have impromptu jam sessions in various places. Have you done one here at the Norva yet? And also, if not, can we find a place for you guys to do one?
Oh, interesting. Sometimes I think it's been a minute since we've done something like that. It's hard to say. I don't know.
Just not feeling the vibe tonight. Routine is important, so we gotta make sure not to do that.
Right? Yeah, that's funny. Although there is a piano in the green room, so I think there'll be spirited festivities after the show for sure. Maybe some Elton John, come out
There you go.
something like that for
Love
sure.
that. Awesome. So you guys have a new album coming out on June 28th called Carnal. There's 2 songs off that album. We have House on Sand and then also If It Doesn't Hurt. Real quick on If It Doesn't Hurt, I know that's the theme song of WrestleMania
You're right.
this recent WrestleMania,
Yeah.
excuse me. Can you talk about how that feels?
Awesome. It's cool, especially this year with The Rock coming back and kind of like all these old school names. Those are a lot of the names we grew up on.
Yes.
So it's cool to see them again in it and our song kind of being on there. It's funny, we weren't even told about it until people started texting us, our friends and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like, sometimes this happens, it's like, hey, there might be a possibility we might maybe use your song.
Oh.
So it's like, you just have no idea.
I thought it was like signed contract, everything good to go.
It is like all that stuff's prepared beforehand, but then sometimes it's you don't hear back and nothing ever happens. So it all gets figured out. But in this case, it is kind of funny to just learn after the fact and just sick. My best friend just texted me and it's like, we're on WrestleMania.
Did you get to watch it at all?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't. No, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay, no worries. All right. So, and then the other single that came out was House on Sand that features Eric from I Prevail. Can you talk about how that came together and the process of creating that single?
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool, actually. We're on tour with Wage War right now, and we had actually done that song together, just collabed with Cody. He does a lot of songs for other rock bands and whatnot, and I think it was like a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago, we started writing that song together. And then this past summer, we had done European festivals, and I Prevail was on a few of those. So we had played together. We kind of became friends, after show shenanigans and things like that. And then we had a headline show on one of their off days, but they were staying in the same city. So Eric came out, and his tour manager Steve came out as well, and they loved the show, and we just kind of became friends, and Eric and I were texting back and forth a bunch. So, we're kind of right in the middle of like our demoing the album, and things are going well, and it had always been something cool, I think, to have his voice or Brian's voice or both of them on the song, or on any song, actually. So I just sent him stuff, and it's like he had actually responded, dude, House on Sand, that's the one. I want to be on that song. If that's possible at all, I would love to. So it worked out. He finally got some studio time and like in their off time, book dates and everything, and it worked out really well. I mean, he sounds killer, and we're psyched he was in the video too.
Awesome. Do you think there'll be a surprise appearance by him tonight?
Probably not. No, he's definitely over in Europe.
No worries. So those 2 songs, If It Doesn't Hurt and House on Sand, are really amazing. So I'm super excited for the upcoming album. Do you think those 2 songs give away to like the style or, just kind of the feeling of the overall album, or anything you can talk about there?
I do feel that it's good par for the course. Yeah. There is kind of that theme. I think a lot of the songs are a little heavier or have more of that edge that those 2 songs have. The next song we actually put out this Friday, actually, Angel Song, is probably kind of a different color for us. It's really cool. We'll actually play it live tonight, and it's kind of this like Queens of the Stone Age meets Muse meets Us sort of type of thing, and it's an immediate banger, and actually David Draymond is singing on the album version too, and that was amazing to have that come somehow into play, because he's a badass. Yeah,
that is really cool. I actually didn't know that there was another song released, so I'm going to have to listen to that after this.
On Friday. It comes out Friday.
Friday? Yeah. Okay, Friday. Gotcha. Going to save that and listen to it then once it comes out.
Do it.
Speaking of saving, can you talk about where people can pre-save the album for when it comes out on June 28th?
Yes, you can do that.
On certain places.
Yeah, on Apple Music, Spotify. Go to our website, and there's a link for like 7 different streaming platforms. You can do that. Amazon Music, Deezer, etc. Yeah, do it, please.
Awesome. And then actually, real quick on the album, since you just said that you have a song coming out Friday, do you ever worry that people might like leak the song before it gets officially leaked to the public?
I mean, that's a good question for sure. I think somewhere like some of the demos got leaked on Reddit or whatever. It's, Reddit's like the smaller, arguably smaller community. But then I don't know. So maybe they're there or something. I feel like everything's on the internet anyway. As soon as you just send a song to a buddy, it's like, hey, don't send this to anybody. It's just everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, that's probably
Forget
it. Awesome. So I know one time you guys were described like as the Blue Man Group of rock. Could you just talk about how you would, if you agree with that, and how you feel about that saying, and if people who haven't seen your show yet, how that might come through?
So early on, kind of when we were doing Weekend Warrior stuff and really trying to make it, dropped out of college and everything, and put all our eggs in this rock and roll band basket. Basically, you realize pretty quickly when people don't know your songs, it's like, well, what's going to get them to come back to a show? And so we would really invest a lot of time into making the show entertaining and kind of doing these, hey, here's this 3-man bass solo, here's this crazy drum solo, here's a cover, here's this, here's that. And a lot of the times that would really help. Once we get them back to a show, or then they purchase a CD or something, then it's like, then they know the songs. So we try to still keep remnants of that for sure. Radio goes a long way still. But without that, a lot of the times it's like, well, how are you any different from any other band? What are you doing differently? So even tonight, there'll be some drum escapades, things going on. We try to keep it special and keep it fresh, to challenge ourselves musically and still put on a show. So that's probably where the Blue Man Group comment type of thing comes from, just the entertainment aspect.
I could definitely say that, especially with Johnny's like drum solo that he does, and lifting it above the crowd and things like that. It's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Awesome. So we're going to move on to just another fun little segment that I like to call This or That Edition. It's getting to know Mark behind Nothing More. So there's just some fun questions, if that's okay with you.
All right, hit me.
Perfect. Beach or mountain?
Ooh, mountain.
Okay. Playlist or podcast?
Ooh, what's the first one?
Playlist or podcast?
Playlist.
Okay. Cold weather or warm weather?
Warm.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Dogs or cats? This one's really important.
Cats.
Okay, you passed. Honestly, you could have passed with all of them. So
I have 4 cats.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Are they on the tour bus with you guys, or they travel?
No, they're at home, and they're all named after rappers. So I got Snoop, Slim, Biggie, and Ninja.
Wait, how did that come about?
My wife's first cat actually was Snoop, and then kind of from there we just slowly started collecting cats, and kept the theme on point.
That's really how it works. You just collect cats.
It is. I know.
I have 3, so I could say that too.
I wish I only had 3.
All right, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Okay. Books or TV shows?
TV shows.
And last one, driving or flying?
Ooh, driving.
You can listen to a lot of podcasts that way and playlists.
That's true, yeah. I mean, flying is, obviously, it's nice to just get to where you're going quicker. But there's something nice about driving, especially just highway, cruise control. Yeah, you got your playlist on or whatever, and zone out, which you probably aren't supposed to do. You're probably supposed to pay attention. I don't, not pushing that. But yeah.
But if you're going long stretch of the mile of the road, it's,
and
happens.
radio.
Yes.
You can listen to the radio.
Exactly. FM99.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had for you today, so thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mark from Nothing More, and I'm Kristin from FM99.
Thanks for having me.